What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your daily astrology horoscope for Tuesday, January 18th, 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I appreciate you all so much. I hope that you are doing well coming off that full moon in Cancer. That was some big energy, and today we just keep going with some big energy. We got the nodes changing from Gemini Sagittarius into Taurus Scorpio, North Node Taurus, South Node Scorpio. They came into the Gemini Sagittarius axis May 4th, May 5th of 2020. I mean, these ingresses with these nodes are not just at every month or, anything kind of transit. I mean, these are long stays, 18 months in a sign. So we just finished a big 18-month learning cycle of information and truth and how to not get sucked into beliefs and stories and projections. And the way, this has been so much about finding your own unique way, and now it comes into building the foundation and building the floor. Like, we're getting ready to just create here an amazing, beautiful Taurus energy. So remember that North Node throughout the next 18 months. It is not about the fear of the world. It is not about the manipulation of the world. Anything that is trying to manipulate or cause fear is false. It's bullshit. I'm telling you right now, there's beauty out there. There's the Garden of Eden, and this is about you coming into your capacities to create this beautiful garden, to manifest things that you never thought were possible, especially with Uranus there, and North Node Uranus are going to meet coming up at the end of this year for a long time. There are amazing things that are going to come to your ability to create that you don't even know yet, and today you get the first little taste of what that can feel like. So it can feel like, gosh, there's so much going on, there's so much happening, there's so much change, there's so much release, there's so much emotion, but you got to get kind of grounded and stable in yourself right now and not lose track of your goals, of the things that you want to bring to life, because Taurus is life. It really is earth energy. When I look at Taurus, like fixed earth, this is definitely bringing up money, this is definitely bringing up values, and we're getting ready to finish up here soon, a Venus retrograde. Venus will be at 13 degrees of Capricorn today in that retrograde motion. So this changes the dispositors. Not only do the nodes change signs, but Venus is now the ruler of the North Node and disposits it. So it's in retrograde. So even more so, we're internalizing and planning, and it's all the real stuff that we're building and working for. Like, these are going to start to show up. So it's absolutely amazing to think about the beauty that you can create and to not get lost in what somebody else tells you you can create or can't create or whatever it may be, because the South Node in Scorpio, it's disposited by Pluto now, but it's also disposited by Mars. So it's going to be this dual dispositor here with the South Node in Scorpio. But it's important to remember the Pluto return of the United States is February 22nd, 2022, and also I can't remember when it comes back in retrograde, the exact date, but it is in July, I believe, as well. And then we get another hit later in the year. So we are full on in this Pluto return of the United States, and it can look like things are falling apart, but they're not. They're not falling apart because this is where you can take control of the life that you want. So whenever it looks scary, remember that you can create what you need in these times. This is where we're being kind of funneled to force create, to force manifest, to force live in abundance, and to pay attention to our values and to know our worth. That is going to be the most top priority of this transit, is to know your worth. If you know your worth, you'll get the things that you want. But if you're doubting yourself or scared or we're having trust issues, because that South Node Scorpio is going to bring up trust issues big time too. And remember, Scorpio does rule death and rebirth energy, so we cannot be scared of what's dying, because what's birthing is going to be so beautiful and bring you more than you could have imagined. And it's actually going to be the stuff you want to hold on to. So if you're holding on to things in life that are not holding value to your sense of worth, to your sense of value, you're gonna start to notice that they're not gonna hold up. They're leaving. They're going. And we might start to feel that today. So it's a big transit. We're definitely going to talk about it a lot over the next 18 months. There's so much going on. Saturn's going to square the nodes. We just had Jupiter square the nodes. North node Uranus. We got eclipses coming up in this axis. But I will say too that we've been in such a cerebral axis of Sagittarius and Gemini, so we've been in our mind so much, and we have this Mercury retrograde that's stationed square Uranus and it's finally starting to peel back. It's going to be at 8 degrees of Aquarius today. We're kind of getting out of our head and going back within to trust our feelings and our connections and connect to the things that stimulate us in the right places. And we could feel called to do things. We could feel called to start things. We could feel called to connect with different people. Like who's really in the tribe in our life. We might be looking for those things. Today is wild because not only do we get the nodes switching signs and all of that changing and coming out of our head and coming into a more feeling-oriented axis of Taurus-Scorpio, because it is about feeling good about yourself. It's not about needing somebody else's approval or somebody else to show you or give you the attention or whatever it is that we become codependent on. This is about knowing your worth to the highest degree. And not only do we get the nodes changing signs, we get Uranus stationed direct, which is just like, are you kidding? This is Tuesday, which is a Mars day, so it's no wonder that we're just initiating right now. And we have to remember too, the sun's at 28 degrees of Capricorn, which is a net 10, which is Taurus. So we have a Uranus direct in Taurus, a North Node ingress into Taurus, and a sun at this powerful master energy degree of creating and manifesting and building towards a future and a destiny. And long-term stuff is about to start showing up, and it's going to show you where things are not going to make it long-term. They're not going to make it up Mount Capricorn, or they are. And this is a shocking day with Uranus coming back online. So we're already getting a shock value to what we can create and what that's going to look like long-term. And we can definitely still want to be heady about it, but this is about really trusting your gut and how you feel about the matter. That's going to help so much. This moon's going to be in Leo. And I love getting the fire moon. We're in winter time here. We don't get any fire signs. From the winter solstice, Capricorn, to Aquarius, to Pisces, all winter, we do not get fire. So when the moon comes in, and we still got Mars in Sagittarius, it's nice. We want to use this fire, but this fire is also triggering and igniting some of this Uranus energy because it's going to oppose Mercury retrograde. And they're really going to put some T-square energy, as the moon's also going to come to 10 degrees and even about 14. So we're also going to get a moon opposite Saturn, but we do get big T-square energy to Uranus and Taurus with it direct. So the moon's kind of coming through and igniting our feelings about how to take radical directions for our most creative self-actualization, to really bring things to life here. I think we're starting to realize that we felt change, and now it's about bringing any change that you want to see to life and to kind of live it and do it and be authentic with what that change is. And it's in rebellious ways. And I think that we're in a day where the unexpected is getting a lot of pressure with Uranus here. I mean, volcanoes, earthquakes, you name it, explosion somewhere. Uranus coming direct here it's the big deal. And it's the first time we've seen Uranus since the 1930s come direct in the second decan of Taurus. So it's already in this more public spectrum of the decans and more mature. So we're starting to see more mature, rapid changes to our physical reality, but it's teaching us how to use our capacities to manifest and create. But it's almost like you got to be willing to disconnect emotionally from the stuff that isn't of the purest value to your soul and to your heart, and to make radical changes for what is. Because we can be in a place where we're trying to emotionally have everything figured out, but we almost just need to trust our emotions and our heart right now, while we have Mercury and Venus retrograde, and Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, which is already extremely heady and wants a scientific explanation for why we're going into this particular future. And maybe that's there, maybe it's not there in our lives. But we got to figure out how to do something different. This is definitely a call for a different mental approach, because we've done the mental work in the nodes in Sagittarius and Gemini. So it's like, okay, the mental stuff's getting its last zap today, and now it's time to really feel where your gut is trying to have you create, and to not be scared of what that might look like, because maybe your mind has some story that that's not possible, or that can't happen, or that's too scary and it takes me out of my comfort zone. And these are things that we could be feeling is like, wow, I really do want to do things, but I'm scared to make this change. We have to be confident, and the more confident you are in your ability to create the unimaginable for yourself that is of the most value in your life, and it's different for everybody. So I don't want to say that just because one thing that I think is valuable, everybody does. This is where you gotta really come back to that relationship to yourself and trust in that, because that's going to take you so far. And the moon's going to finish off the day in opposition to Saturn, so fun stuff. Like, we got a lot of crazy shit going on, a lot of change, a lot of electricity is in the air, frequency is high, energy is ramped up today. And then we got to somehow stay responsible and stay put together, and it's going to feel like the world's against us maybe. And it's like, oh geez, what's up with this, this person showing up with this authority? Like, why is nothing connecting? And, there's something too with Jupiter here coming to 4 degrees here. It's like, we got to have faith in these magical doorways that are out there. We got to still see through reality to get to the beauty. And it's almost like seeing through the chaos to get to the beauty, or seeing through the madness to get to the beauty, and trusting that God has a plan out there for each and every one of us, but we have to act on that plan too. We can't just sit around and do nothing, So this is definitely a big moment, this is a big day. Like, this is some of the most radical, unpredictable changes that are going to change your life for the future. And it can feel harsh, or it can feel like you have to really boss up within yourself by the end of the day. Like, okay, I saw what the ultimate connection or what the ultimate value is going to look like, and getting into that space. And as the moon does oppose Saturn, it's also going to quincunx Venus retrograde in Capricorn. So it's if that full moon in Cancer brought up a lot of emotion, this is going to test us if we're going to find our courage to release that, and to really self-actualize our futures and our relationships and our manifestations and our money. But more importantly, the relationship you have to yourself, and especially with the moon in Leo, you have to know you're the shit. Like, you have to know you're a boss. You have to know you got this. You have to know that as long as you trust in yourself and you believe in yourself and you're connected to a higher source right now, that it's going to work out exactly as it's meant to. Even if our human brains want to have all the answers to the future of what's going to happen, this is a time to trust that your channel is connected and hooked up, direct line to the heavens. And I think this Uranus direct is going to help us see how we can manifest in radical new ways. But it's also bringing up the times of the 1930s, which, there were some intense times going on in Germany, as you all know, with Uranus coming to this second half of Taurus. This is really when there was conservation camps coming in. This is when there was all that crazy stuff right before Uranus came into Gemini, and that was World War II. So it's wild to look out into what I see on the internet sometimes and see that there are people on this planet right now, humans just like me and you, that want to see people in conservation camps. And it blows my mind, because history repeats itself time and time again, and you'd think we would have learned. But I guess fear, which is the number one thing that we have to cut the program out, because I'm not saying that fear doesn't have its place. Fear does have its place, and it does a good job at keeping a lot of us alive. But when we just run our life based on fear, and when we put down our brothers and sisters, and when we, think that the whole collective has to be part of some hive mind that believes that everything has to be safe and sound, we are not in our own creative potential to manifest a life. And it's going to get slippery on that side. And that's all I'll say about that. But it's a lot of astrology. It actually is. I'm super excited. I think it's extremely exciting for us. So when I will look at these next couple months, like I'm like, oh my gosh. As soon as January's over, and we get Venus stationing direct, and then just a couple days after that, we get Mercury stationing direct in Capricorn. It's going to be time to really get to work for what these amazing, beautiful manifestations are going to look like. It's just not going to be, it's not going to be like what we thought the structure of society was meant to look like. And the more accepting we can be that it's changing in front of our eyes, and changes have to be made so that we can hold on to something beautiful, the better our lives will be as a collective. So today's a really good kickstart into what that is all going to look like, and with Uranus stationing direct, unimaginable things can happen today. So expect the unexpected, and I think you'll do just fine. And there is inner responsibility. You know, we just had a full moon in the Capricorn Cancer axis, and then sure enough, the next day we get a moon opposite Saturn, which might as well be the Capricorn Cancer axis. So, I mean, when we talk about our self-accountability to create life right now, and to go after things and to be ambitious, you know, it takes out of the ordinary path to do that right now. And that's where the money's at. Taurus, baby. North Node, Taurus, money. Whether it's money or not, it's value. What is valuable to you? And why do you not hold on to more of what it is? Knight of Cups in reverse. Yeah, we're going to feel like we don't have any emotional body armor today. We're going to feel very vulnerable. It's likely vulnerable because we're realizing that we have to make changes we are not comfortable to make if we want the things we want. This isn't a bad time to want things. Like, we can want things in life. And we don't want to be scared or lack courage, you know. We want to still have courage to connect to the things that are going to bring the most value, whether these are relationships or people or jobs or careers, whatever it might be, you know, that's real for you. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay that if you know you're not getting the value you're looking for and it doesn't make you feel good, that you can feel those feelings and release them and say goodbye so that you can keep moving forward. We can feel like today we want to take a step back. And maybe it's okay if we take a step back, because it's going to show us more about how we truly feel about a lot of the matters in life, because there's shocking revelations that are showing up today, and they might hit us in those sensitive spots. The moon will trine Chiron today in Aries as well, so I will say that there's something about being vulnerable right now with yourself on the realest and truest of levels that is so healing. And you have to really get back to yourself to get into that place. And there can be so much with others or things outside of us that are part of the shocking revelations that bring us back into ourselves and actually do show us how much emotional armor that we carry as we keep pursuing forward on this journey. I love you all very much. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's horoscope will be filmed in Huntington Beach. I'm out of here. Everything's gone. I have a camera and some lights, and I'm going to bed, and I'm off. I love you all very much. These are very exciting times. So we're going to ride this wave and surf this physical world together, and it's going to be badass. So don't be scared of change, because we're going to realize that the change just brought us to the things that we're going to want to hold on to and bring us really good substance in this reality for a long time to come after these 18 months. So it's building time. So don't be afraid to build something great. I love you all. See you mañana. Peace.